I used to work for a charity that was like a support network for people who work in community development. And we had members across Africa and India and the UK. And sometimes I get to go to these amazing conferences that were probably unlike any other conference you've ever been to. So there'd be quite practical sessions. I would do one on communications. But then there'd be these very reflective ones as well. So I remember being in Zambia, and this guy called Elvis did one where he was encouraging people to think about their answer to the question, who are you? Sounds simple enough, but you couldn't refer to your name, gender, where you're from, your job, and who you are in relation to your family, you know, father, mother, that kind of thing. And actually, we strip those things away. That's a really hard question to answer, I think. And it occurred to me recently that actually any good portrait painter, that's the question they're trying to answer. And for my money, nobody answers that question better than Rembrandt. So I was at the National Gallery recently where I'm often drawn towards this portrait here. So this is Margarita de Geer. I might have pronounced that wrong, but she was probably the richest woman in Europe at the time this was painted, in 1661. So you're looking not just at the 1%, but the 0.00001%. And she was an arms dealer, a philanthropist, a female business leader in a very male-led world. And now, like, portraits of rich people aren't normally my thing, really, but because Rembrandt looks far beyond kind of wealth and status and profession, you kind of forget she's rich, and I think you see who she really is. So, you know, you're looking at a pretty formidable, stern-looking woman. She's looking at us head on, steely-eyed. She's got a very firm grip on that chair, hasn't she? But actually, there's this furrowed brow, pale skin. She's looking kind of frail to me. And that white cloth might suggest that her husband's just died, so she's recently widowed. And this is why I love Rembrandt. I think there's no other artist that's better at exploring that question, who are you? And I think there's no other artist that could cause me to feel a human connection to a picture of an arms dealer from 400 years ago.